What is up, game changers? It is I, Juniper Blue Mystique. I'm coming on today because I want to show you something pretty cool and interesting that's coming out in the energy. So I've told you many times, I am the one who brought about the return of Christ. And a lot of people don't quite get that, right? Their ego gets in the way, their shadow gets in the way, and they might be missing some things. But when I tell you that, right, who I am is not normal, what I've done is not normal. I've cleared pyramids, I've activated pyramids, I cleared Mount Shasta. I did all this stuff, right? Let me share my screen with you too. So charge. I'm going to show you something today. So my friends, if you've noticed what's going on in Ecuador, right? There's a lot of things about aliens too. Let's look this up. I mean, there's a lot of things that may not be right about aliens right now. But there's just a lot of talk about aliens in the energy, right? So we need to consider why. Why are all these things happening? Why are all these things happening at once? Well, I'm going to tell you why. If you truly watch the work that I do, okay? So during my awakening, Spirit had me doing all these things. They were teaching me who I was, having me doing healings on people. Spirit was the one who taught me who I was, and I just kept following the nudges to do things. They told me eventually to do workshops, and then something happened and I was nudged to record them, right? Now I know why. Now I know why they wanted me to record them, because now they're all recorded and witnessed. And there's a couple things I want to show you here, okay? Because again, there's more proof in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. Have you ever heard that term? I can sit here and say all the time, I brought about the return of Christ. I can sit here and tell you until I'm blue in the face that what I did is actually playing out in your environment right now. And it's very important for you to understand that, right? Why would God have all this stuff be done right in front of your face and not expect you to see it, right? Now, recently, I did a video on my channel about snakes, okay? All of the ascension is on my channel. Okay, let me show you really quick what that means. I know I'm a little all over the place, but if I don't give an intro into who I am and what I've done, it doesn't make sense. The rising of Jesus Christ, I process his death here, and his soul went into the Garden of Eden, which I didn't understand why at first. Then I began clearing Mount Shasta, which was not of light at all. Part 1, there's 2 parts to that. In this one, I undid the contracts all the way back to Abraham Lincoln, which is interesting too, because recently I had to clear Gatlinburg. All of this goes together. I had to clear all darkness out of the earth. Okay. Then I activated pyramids in Fiji, which was also the God portal, did things to the sun and the moon, undid the false concept of time, and started removing the earth out of the matrix. It's up to you to rise out of that. Guided meditation to eliminate the false concept of time. So see, all these things just started happening to me and through me. Now in these ones, if you watch them, I start talking, I do things to the earth. I activate pyramids. This one's so long because it's like 4 different ascension pyramid activations, and I combined them. And then here's more pyramid activations. These are in Indonesia, Myanmar, Budapest, Peru, Thailand, all over the world. Okay. And those have been coming up in the news as well. In Indonesia, they discovered new pyramids. Okay. And I even mentioned that in here. Some of these have not been discovered, but they will be. I talk about aliens in my pyramid activations and things, and how I found a ship in the Atlantic Ocean that I had to undock in order to do the activations that I was doing, that I see beings in there, and that eventually they will be found and they may not be alive. I think when I did Kilimanjaro, which was the masculine pyramids, I talked about that, right? But recently I did that video on snakes, okay? And in that video, I need to add it to this playlist. Yeah, look, we even did the anointing of the blood of Christ, where I brought down the blood of Christ and cleansed the earth, poured it into the earth. I didn't understand that at first. I got a download after I did the Nile of why not everybody will ascend. What are the 13 gates that I cleared and opened? Recently, my DM finally took on his past life soul of Jesus. It's God's earth now. Time is up. Prophecy fulfilled. Revelations 21:13. Who I am and all of that kind of stuff, right? It's all on here. It is. Here's the Nile, but this is going to come into play. So now listen to this. First of all, what came through today was the snakes. Let me show you where that is. You can watch that one. I talk about the significance of snakes on my journey. I actually puked up 3 snakes out of my solar plexus. And Spirit literally said in this video, it'll prove to you more of who I am. So I'm going to put it in my Ascension playlist really quick for you all. All right. They literally said in this video that it would show you more proof of who I am. I threw up 3 snakes out of my solar plexus, and I didn't understand this. Now, when I activated Ecuador, they told me I was Sekhmet. So we're going to watch that. Why is that important? What's happening in Ecuador right now? Gunmen storm Ecuador TV station after president declares state of emergency. All of a sudden, there's like this war going on in Ecuador. We're going to talk about that. There was an escaped drug lord. He escaped prison. Things are going down, my dudes. Things are going down, okay? We've got Ecuador riots. State of emergency explained, how the prison escape did all this. We're going to watch that in a minute. And why is that relevant with what I did? Okay, we're going to watch that. So this was an important one that I talked about. And look, people just, for some reason, aren't watching what they need to see. And I'm telling you right now, as if you actually watch my videos, there's proof all around of who I am. Look at this. I found this card today, Sekhmet with 3 snakes, you guys. That's significant. Okay, I didn't know this. I've never put this together before because it was coming through me as my awakening. So look, there's 3 snakes here. Sekhmet, fierce compassion, and a healer. She is known as a master healer. It's what I am. It's what I do. But I'm not just Sekhmet. That was one of my lifetimes. You have to consider that bringing about the return of Christ went all the way back to Adam and Eve when I rose Atlantis first. Okay, setting my soul free there, undoing the contract there that I wrote that it would never rise again. Then I cleared Mount Shasta, activated Fiji pyramids. Then I started activating pyramids all over the globe, undid the false concept of the moon and the sun, which started waking up my DM. The Sphinx was actually mine. Okay, now I didn't know that here. If you watch this one, I'm like, they just said a pharaoh did it. Okay, literally, that's all they told me. Then when we go to Ecuador, let's watch this. We have to watch this. And then we're going to watch some about what's happening in Ecuador. This is very interesting and very relevant to who I am. The proof is in the pudding, my friends. A lot of people come on and say they're Jesus. A lot of people come on and say they're these and that and the other, that they're doing this. And that when I tell you, you guys, if you're outside of God, you won't make it. I brought about the return of Christ, which is Judgment Day. It's not Judgment Day, though. It's you reap what you sow according to the Spirit. It's all karmic based. If you have any karma left, you can't make it into the new earth at all. Once you clear all your karma and you make it into the new earth, it's a rebirth. That's what's going on. I brought about the 7th wave of creation. Okay. Took us into 7D. So it means you have to heal a lot more, all right, in order to make it into the new earth. That's not a joke. Revelations 21:12 speaks of this, that talks about the trials and tribulations of God. Now the Nile, Ecuador, and Sekhmet are all in relation. Listen, okay, let's watch this real quick. Just a little bit of it, not all of it. These are workshops that I did. Okay. Full disclaimer.
Seated step.
In this one, right away they tell me I'm Sekhmet, and I have no idea what they're talking about. It blew my mind. And I had not done the Nile yet, but this was activating the masculine pyramid in Ecuador. So you guys, Ecuador is a masculine pyramid. The DM did not fully step up yet. So, do you think there's any coincidence? We're going to watch what's going on. Okay, hang on.
And what I can tell you is the person that attacked me is done. Okay.
Yeah. So that's another thing, is I'm constantly met with attacks on this journey. As soon as I went into the new earth, I got attacked. My DM not stepping up is refusing to protect me, and that of the collective soul. So let's hear this.
They are not taking this lightly. It is not a good thing, to say the least.
Yeah, okay. These continual attacks on me, those individuals that do that are solidifying into the darkness. Trust me. There's one in particular that really, let me tell you, there's been a few. Okay, I've been attacked several times by fallen angels, still continually to this day. And we would all be more protected if the DM would have stepped forward. But my original DM died, okay? We didn't wake him up in time. We were attacked by fallen angels. He couldn't see clearly, and he did not choose to get out. He did not choose to listen to God. They tried to stop the ascension. They tried to kill me. But I kept going. That's why I took us into 7D. So let's listen to that. I did bring about the return of Christ. That's not a joke. Nobody else on this earth undid the Holy Grail. I did. Okay. Do you even know what it is? I do. All right. Let's watch this. So there's multiple parts of the return of Christ. It's Adam and Eve, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and Sekhmet and Horus. But the cool thing is Ecuador, for some reason, is where they felt the need to tell me I am Sekhmet. Let's watch.
Okay. But the DM is safe. He loves me. He's not losing his blue light. He's working his way towards me.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time.
But Malachi's not taking the blue light, so he's not doing anything wrong. Like if he refused to come, they would.
So my twin flame story is not normal. Having a twin flame die is not normal. Having a walk-in twin flame is not normal. That's why I swelled up so bad. That, and when I activated the pyramids, my heart became enlarged. This actually took a toll on me physically, mentally. It took everything I had. You guys don't understand how painful and how difficult it was bringing about the return of Christ, and how somehow I survived where we've never survived before. It's been attempted before and we did not succeed. Jesus and Mary Magdalene were attempting, Sekhmet and Horus were attempting. Now, when you understand the history and what happened, the work that I did truly aligns with it. Okay. So let's listen. I undid the false concept of the moon, and there's a lot more in the path to righteousness. So let's listen.
Take his light back. That's not happening, so that makes me feel very good. Okay. He is being called forth. He is participating wherever he is at.
So his energy did come in for these, and since then I don't even want to speak negative of it, because I don't want to create negative, but I'm going to tell you right now that I'm really tired of the pain that has been brought forth through this ascension, especially through the side of the DM. It needs to stop. Okay. We got to fix it.
He's actively participating safely.
I just want to get to a particular part.
Also, we will be quite protected. Okay, so best thing I can say. Getting a download, you guys, that download that I got of a false DM was quite in my face. They don't. And this is going to cause some shit storms to occur.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a joke. Okay. And so I do see Malachi coming in with my DM. So he's actually sitting there. He's like waiting. Okay. So some of this, oh, they said there's two more. Some of these are
I'm just fast forwarding
hard to put logic into the work that I do, because I am a God. That's not ego. It's true. Okay. So it can feel overwhelming at times. Amy may have some tips she can put in the chat of how she kind of got through it. I had to do the same thing, where we would process and we would be like, whoa, and we would have to sit with it for a little while. And you learn that you can't tell everybody, because not everybody gets it. And it can make you feel like you're a little bit mentally insane, because it is beyond the mind. Okay. This work happens in the ether. This work happens in a realm that is beyond our understanding, in a limited mind space.
This is why when somebody actually has the proof saying that, yes, I am the one, I did the things, Jesus is my twin flame, here's the proof, 99% of you can't even process the truth yet. Okay. You're not awake enough. You're not healed enough to even see the truth yet. The shadow completely blocks. Where we can't see is where the shadow resides. Okay. So this is massive work. What I do in the energy, and then it boomerangs into your reality. That's why I'm telling you, everything I did over the return of Christ is now playing out in your reality. This one was done in May of 23. That's when they finally told me I was Sekhmet.
Of this planet, okay, of our vessels, of our mind. So just sit with it. Go into your heart space with it. High heart chakra. What the world needs now is love, pure love, because that's the only thing that there's just too little of, and it will be stripped of a lot of things around us, can be crumbling. Okay, so make sure you find your balance. The rock, the tree, find your balance in the earth. Know that you are protected, but also go into your heart and go into the earth for that protection, not into your friends and your people around you, because they're not going to understand unless they witness it, unless they come to the awakening of it.
So that's what I'm telling you, is there's people that have watched my journey unfold. They've watched it unfold live on this channel, and they still don't get it. Okay. if you are lucky enough to do the path to righteousness and you're ahead of the game, you have to protect your energy. This is an inward journey for a reason. When you go through an awakening, you're lonely, because the energies no longer align. And the way the shadow works is anybody will try to stop you. Anybody can pick up that asshole energy, and it really does throw a wrench in your awakening and in your healing process. Okay. It's happened to me 20 times over. It will continue to probably happen because of who I am, and the darkness does not like what I did. It's very real. So what I did is playing out in your reality. I activated a pyramid in Ecuador, and this was with the energy of my DM. This is a masculine pyramid. Okay. Now, Ecuador was recently put in a state of emergency. Masked gunmen stormed an Ecuador TV station live after it was declared a state of emergency. There was a prison escape of the notorious drug lord. There's a lot going on here. And they are telling me if the masculine stepped forward, it would be a different outplay. So let's listen, but it's still going to crumble. Everything has to crumble, you guys. That's what I'm saying. It's way beyond. I understand what's coming. Oh, look, here's the list. Undid the Holy Grail and united Jesus and Mary Magdalene. That is real. That happened Christmas Day live. Anchoring the moon, false concept of the solar eclipses are done. But this one came through. This was the round of masculine pyramids. After this one, we went to Kilimanjaro, Mount British Columbia, and the Congo and stuff. And that is where I burned the White House to never be rebuilt again. This is not about presidential. This is about masculine and feminine. But in this one, they're about to tell me I'm Sekhmet. And then after that, about a month later, I did the Nile, and I didn't see it coming. So they're very relevant. Ecuador, the Nile, Sekhmet, there's something there. I'm telling you, you would know what's happening in the earth if you pay attention to what I did. Okay. Seriously. All right, let's watch.
This requires a higher frequency being to understand these, which is why I don't have 20 people in my workshops. I don't take that personally, because the work I do requires starseeds, light workers, beings who are open to it. Okay. Then we have stepping through. Didn't I say this was a gateway to on the live? This is an ascension portal. This is stepping through into great wisdom also. So you will be getting a lot of downloads, a lot of information coming forward. Then we have Star Seer again, root chakra again, okay? And then we have fire again, right? The balance of self, the balance that are going to seek you out, okay? They will energetically could try to hurt you.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's why your internal's internal. Your journey's internal, because the darkness will try to seek you out. So it's an illusion. Okay. So you may think you have friends and everything, and oh, great. And you can tell your journey, but you just opened up their shadow entering into your energy to attack the shit out of you. And you don't even know what's happening. Energy works in mysterious ways, and it's beyond what our eyes can see. So you need to be very mindful of that. That is why our journey becomes lonely. This is an inward journey. You are not meant to be codependent anymore. We were in a false codependent reality. And the new earth is about your own power. You get a new contract. Everything's clear and you're in freedom. You get to rewrite your life. This is a great reset. You guys need to understand the brevity of what I've done. And if you watch the videos, it would probably help you wake up into that. But instead, most people anchor into their shadow, unfortunately. And the DM's the only one who could probably change that, honestly.
You never know. Just put up that protection. Make sure you're grounded. And that's why this says endurance. Because those that are the first to go through shed a lot more than others very quickly, okay? And others can feel that in the vibration.
Yeah, so that's another thing, you become a target. Now, when I started activating pyramids in the beginning, I said we were a beacon. These ones, especially, I think in Kilimanjaro on this one, I said we're a beacon. Aliens are going to see this. I said I undocked alien ships, and they are now, so there's aliens in the energy as well. There's just a lot of talk about it. A lot of witnesses, a lot of the government saying, yeah, they're real. I don't know what's going on in Florida. I'm not. The thing about the one in Florida, you guys, did you hear about the aliens in Florida, right? They were supposedly at the mall on the 1st of January. And they saw these aliens. But the thing that gets me about that is that there is no proof, right? I feel like if the situation was real, people might be in so much shock, but I don't know if that's real. There was one girl though who said if you put the coordinates of the Miami Mall into Google Maps, if you put them in backwards, it takes you to Antarctica where they supposedly found an alien ship. It really does. So if you put the coordinates for the Miami Mall backwards into the Google Maps, it'll take you to Antarctica. So the theory is maybe they accidentally mixed up their coordinates and they ended up in the mall in Florida. There's no reasons aliens would want to go to the mall in Florida. I don't know what's happening. It could be like a glitch, right? Like, oops, they ended up there and they didn't mean to. But there's a reason there's a lot of talk about aliens now. And when I would activate pyramids, I would tell you that that was going to come up. They were going to become more relevant. We will eventually commingle because I took us into 7D, not 5D. This was 2 parts. Okay, the first one, I activated the dormant chakra system first. Then in part 2, I took us through a black hole and anchored us into the Pleiades galaxy. So you guys, when I say this ascension is outside of your mind, it is. But when somebody actually has the proof and puts it in front of you and you let your shadow stop you, that battle for your soul is winning. So be very mindful.
And it just is what it is.
I'm just trying to get through the beginning
it's a privilege
here.
And it's a blessing. It's nothing to be looked down upon. Okay. All right. So I think I've said everything I had to say. Masculine ones are going right over the chrysanthemum.
I have 2 of those because I made one for my original DM that didn't show up. And then I made one for my second DM. Now my original DM, I knew we had a relationship. Second one, I don't know at all. And I lost my ability to sing and like I've changed. It's not a fun journey. Okay. So understand that's why there's 2 wands.
And oil, juniper oil, which they call me Juniper Blue Mystique for a reason. I'm going to start saying my invocation and I get to light 3 candles. Very relevant. I hope to God that I'm going to turn on my fan just so it helps that because I don't want the fire alarm to go off. I'm in this new place and it's very sensitive. So give me just a second. I also have my demonized twin flame wands that I really can. Like it's different. When David was going to die, he kept sending me love, but it was very sad. I don't feel sad. Like I feel something that's been happening from day one. They are protection. They are power. I'm like the goddess of the lions. Who was the goddess of the lions in Egypt?
So that's where they first started telling me I'm the goddess of the lions. Now, if you understand who Sekhmet is, I didn't even know that. I'm like, who is that?
That's relevant. Hang on just a second. I got to put it in there.
Let's watch this one for a little bit, and then we'll see what's going on in Ecuador. We'll see how it aligns. I channel these. I just do what they
it might have been a lifetime of mine. The lion-headed goddess in Egypt encompassed numerous deities, including Sekhmet, Wadjet, and Bastet, among others. In this guise, the goddess were fierce, protective deities, but so there was multiple of them, so that's also relevant. Hang on. But ones that could also, the chills. They're just saying there's no coincidences here. That could also bring about destruction on behalf of the gods. Both through violence and through plague and through pestilence. Now, Ninka, I know Lisa may not know who Ninka is. Ninka, I had her channel for a while ago when they told me I was God, when they told me I was Eve. I didn't believe it at first. I always questioned things, right? I mean, it's in our nature, it's logic. And there's something wrong here. That's my ego. And it's like, wait, who am I? And she channeled it. And you want to know what she said? She didn't get a name. She said, I am a god of destruction for repair. That's relevant. Okay. The lion-headed goddess Sekhmet is one of the most common deities in Egyptian collections worldwide. Thousands of amulets depict her, either seated or standing and holding a papyrus-shaped scepter. She is the mistress of dread. In other words, karma. This is like taking my breath away. Give me a second. I have more I have to read here. This is purposeful. She's one of the oldest known Egyptian deities. This is something to do with my soul, okay? Also, her name is derived from the Egyptian word Sekhem, which means power or might, and is often translated as the powerful one or she who is powerful. She is depicted as a lion-headed woman, sometimes with the addition of a sun disk or her head. Seated statues of Sekhmet show her holding the Ankh of life, but when she is shown striding or standing, she usually holds a scepter formed from papyrus. Hang on, suggesting that she was associated primarily with the north. However, I can't make this shit up. Some scholars argue that the deity was introduced from Sudan, south of Egypt, where lions are more plentiful. There is a purpose of this. Let me get to it. Where is it? The one who loves Ma'at and who detests evil. She was also known as the Lady of Pestilence and the Red Lady, indicating her alignment with the desert. And it was thought that she could send plagues against those who angered her. When the center of power shifted from Memphis to Thebes during the New Kingdom, there was something about pyramids in here, so that's what I'm trying to find. That's what they wanted me to read. The Eye of Ra. I gotta read this, you guys. This is insane. I did not know this was coming. This is part of it. So, Sekhmet was mentioned a number of times in the spells of the Book of the Dead as both a creative and destructive force.
And that's exactly what they told me from the beginning, is I was here to create destruction for repair. You can actually see that in my very first workshop that I posted too, that I'm the one that created the divide. So it's not just Jesus, okay? This takes us back to God. God created Adam and Eve. God created Eve and then Adam to be by her side. They're twin flames. And then it went to Jesus and Mary Magdalene and then Sekhmet and Horus. So when I tell you what I did is playing out in your environment, that's not a joke. But you would know that if you watch the videos, and not just for your gain, other than to see. What does that mean? Like, a lot of people like to watch the healing ones, right? But what they don't understand, they avoid, they shun, and that's your shadow. Okay. Not everybody will ascend. All right. Now, the 3 snakes I just put together. This is something they wanted me to talk about. On my journey, I threw up 3 snakes every time I would upgrade in power, every time that I would awaken more, every time that I would activate a new gate. I had 3 snakes that I called back. And I talked about that recently for a reason. Okay. I'm pretty sure Spirit's again trying to show you guys proof. But the proof is in the pudding. It's only there for those who can't see it, right? So now Ecuador, we activated this pyramid in May. And then the Nile came shortly after. Now in that one, they tell you I'm the queen of life. I'll show you that too in just a moment. Okay. And then we'll pay attention to what's going on in Ecuador. And the aliens I talk about a lot in my ascension work. When I do the pyramids, when I do things, I would have to undock them. They are underwater in places. But there's good ones and there's ones that are not meant to stay here as well. And we will eventually begin to commingle more with them. So that will become part of our reality, because that's 7D. 7D is not limited like you once were. Okay. So here is where they started telling me I was Sekhmet. Then I think they tell me I created the Sphinx. Okay. Let's listen.
But above all, she is the protector. The shields are insane. The protector of Ma'at, the balance of justice.
The balance of justice. She is the protector of the balance of justice. The anointing of the blood of Christ. If you watch this video where I anointed the blood of Christ, they said it's now a karmic shift. That is what brought about the end of days, the karmic shift. Because Jesus was murdered, Sekhmet was murdered. Of course, then Mary Magdalene died. Horus was murdered. Adam accidentally killed Eve. I say accidentally because I know in my heart, if he would have been able to see clearly, may have been different, but it played out the same in this lifetime. So I told you, I'm not playing out the lifetime of Sekhmet, but I am playing out the lifetime of Eve. But this was also one of my lifetimes. Okay.
Named the ones who loves Ma'at and the detests evil. They don't like evil though. She is also known as the Lady of Pestilence and the Red Lady. Okay, and it was thought that she could send plagues. Her attributes were absorbed into that of Mut.
There's a lot of things I can do. What you guys don't realize is that when I think it was this one, when I freed Jesus' soul and processed his death, that night I went to bed, or the night later, and I traveled, you know, I can tell the difference. It was very real. And I went to somebody and I ripped their soul out of their body. And to this, I've been afraid to ask who it was, but I know it had to do with this one. So I've had to rip souls out of bodies. I did that when I dried the Nile as well, or not the Nile, when I did this one, clearing the collective shadow. That's when the Euphrates started drying up. I actually had to rip a soul out of a body in that one. Okay. And then in Mount Shasta, I burned Archangel Samael. Okay. So that was this one. You guys, the proof is so in our face, it's not even funny for who I am. And the fact that people have been throwing shade and refusing to see shows how much they are anchored into the darkness. The proof is in the pudding. It's right here in front of our face.
Who sometimes took the form of a lion. Okay.
Oh, and since when I had my awakening, lions surrounded me right away. I saw a lion in my third eye. I had a Kundalini awakening. Okay. I saw different things. Like God told me I was here to change the world. I wasn't like anybody else, that I was going to change the world and watch the world change by allowing myself to be myself. And so on. And so when you put this all together, it finally makes sense, but I got it in pieces. So I saw the lions. I just thought I needed strength. They have been with me since day one. They surround me in all my workshops and things. This all makes sense. All the proof is there. You actually just have to watch my workshops.
She was associated with the goddess given the title Eye of Ra. Oh, and this came through before. I don't know if you remember this, Amy, the god of Ra with the sun. Remember when I...
Yeah, so they told me and when I do the Nile again, they tell me I am the Eye of Ra and my DM is the Eye of Horus. And then I kept getting more downloads too at the same time. This is why my DM matters so much, why him not showing up is actually hurting God. It's going against God. So if he can't ascend, I don't deserve to be taken down by a DM. I have worked so hard. So that's on him. So let's listen.
I did something to the sun. It's very relevant. When Ra became angry because mankind was not following the laws, and
I don't like to hear that. Their story is not exactly accurate. Okay. Sekhmet was of God. And so it's not like our wrath is just like, ooh, you suck, I want you to leave. It's not like that at all. I've been hurt so bad and I still have an open heart, even if at first I may not be open to it. Okay. So understand that some of their depictions, they put a lot of darkness in there for a reason. So be very careful what you listen to.
Right. That's one version of it.
So let's get to Ecuador.
The saving of mankind was commemorated every year on the feast. Somebody who had an obsession with her and built hundreds. DM, my DM will actually be reading with me.
I didn't know that was coming, and I didn't know the Nile was coming at this time either at all.
I'm going to slow my energy down because I always get so excited. Validations always come when we need them.
If you're
so
open.
The Sphinx is being called forward. There's no point. I figured it would be. All of the pyramids that I activated are turning. So they're going to turn a quarter and they're going to point towards the masculine ones that we're going to be activating. Okay. The first one today is in Ecuador. All the pyramids that I've already activated are turning like a quarter turn to the east. That's how it looks, like a quarter turn to the east. And they're pointing all of the energy towards this one pyramid in Ecuador, which is where I'm going to energetically take us, but not yet. So I want you guys to just kind of calm your energy now. We're all sitting around it, including my DM right next. I feel like they've seen it, but they can't get through there. Like they don't even realize what exactly this thing is. They're opening up and there's stairs that goes all the way down, almost to like.
That's the Sphinx. So the Sphinx is the portal of time. I did create it. They told me that. It is a black hole. When I activated that, we went downstairs, we opened it up, we went down some stairs, and there's this big, vast black hole. It is the portal of time. When I activated that, that is what called everybody home. The end of time started. Okay.
Different aspect of the earth where there is a black hole. This is the portal of time. That is opening in a very big way. And as it opened, I could feel my hair like blow that way. It's like sucking it in. And again, I call on the energy of us and all of our guides, our ancestors, our loved ones, our spirit guides, but our higher selves as well. And we are putting a bubble of light, of protection around us. This is like a layered upon layered bubble of protection. As I told you, they know what we're doing. Okay. Darkness has a funny way of just, they can feel it. They don't like it.
Because it cuts them off. So I've been cutting them off from the light the whole entire time. So I tell you, unless you're fully healed and you've removed your shadow, you cannot see. You have to, you can't do healings. If you're going to people doing healings and they're taking you to Mount Shasta, run. They're not connected to the light. That's not a joke.
At all. Okay. So might it piss off some people in your environment all of a sudden that you didn't realize were connected to that energy?
Yes.
Yes. If you notice differences in behaviors, just protect your energy. Don't judge. You don't have to necessarily.
And you can see it on my channel, you guys. It'll come in waves. When I really truly start to rise into my power and into that balance and the love and everything, I get attacked. Then I get like dislikes 3 in a row on my videos. Boom, boom, boom. The same energies return, same people return. And then I get attacked. And then they try to get me to like, they hurt my shop. It's like the same stuff. It's ridiculous. It's redundant. And I guarantee you, they will never make it to the light, those that are doing that.
Necessarily separate. Spirit can do that for you. Excuse me. It's releasing. Just ask for protection.
I just want to get to Ecuador really quick.
It's coming in.
I channel these, you guys. I'm
God, Zeus, and the Eye of Ra. My DM is I can hear it. There's this line, there's these cords being connected between my DM and I. Okay, the spirit's doing it, the gods are doing it, they're just connecting us. Boom, 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 boom. It is so powerful and so strong. Nothing can come in between us. No matter how far we are right now on the earth, there's no energy that can penetrate this at all. And if they do, they will regret it forever.
Oh,
this is no joke.
That reminds me of when I did the moon, the first moon one. I literally like took out a satellite and it did fall from the sky. Less than 18 hours later, it fell into Oregon. The false concept of the moon, this one. I said the next time they try to listen in, their ears will bleed. And that was a long time ago. And here we are in Ecuador. Let's watch.
This is like, I am done. Like, you will die. Okay. It's not a joke.
No.
Okay, I have to say.
That's what I'm telling you. Everybody's like, oh, they aren't giving themselves the truth. They're wasting time. They're refusing to see. If you found this channel, there's a reason. You better pay attention, because either it will help you awaken or it will make you anchor back into the darkness. The choice is yours.
Say that. This is not a joke. Like I said in my live, like, you think you haven't pissed off God? Well, if he can get pissed off, he would be now.
It's done. It's not pissed off, but it's done.
I keep hearing that song. What the world? So remember, everything I do is about love. It's about unconditional love. It's about removing anything that is not that. And I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Bear with me. I never know how these are gonna go.
Removing anything that is not unconditional love. Okay, I'm saying this in Ecuador. Everything I say in these is very relevant to that energetic cleanse. Okay, this is not a joke. And now Ecuador is rising. The shitstorm is rising for a reason. Because everything I did will rise to the surface to be seen so that it can fall. It's Sekhmet, the destruction for repair, put it together. Your whole world is dying and you must rise with it or not at all. And if you think throwing shade my way helps you at all, you obviously can't see clearly. And I've had a lot of people throwing shade my way. It comes in waves.
There's so much energy and so much power. And I feel like the only thing that exists is the ground we are sitting upon, and the angels and the beings all around us. And then the Sphinx, and then the pyramids, and Ecuador, the pyramid there. Everything else is black. It is black. It doesn't exist right now. It doesn't exist right now. It's all black. And I could feel like energy, like the black hole energy, it's like pulling my hair. And the white flame is activating within my heart space.
So I am the white flame. If you watch the 7D ones, that comes up, and a couple of them, it comes up where, and I think when I rose Atlantis and stuff, no, it was the 7D ones, activating the dormant chakra system. They tell you again more of who I am, and they gave me a key and showed me where Atlantis was and where I drowned. They showed me where I died. And when I died there in Lake Titicaca is where I drowned. That was the hub of Atlantis, and it spreads to Machu Picchu and all that area. And I died there, and my flame went out in my heart space. I hold the white flame. The white flame is God. Who I am is all right here, and it was my own awakening. I had to process it myself. Judgment does not serve. Who are you to say that I'm not? I actually have the proof. Who are you to say that it should have happened a certain way? That's ridiculous. Even I didn't know.
And within my DM, who is also Adam and Jesus and David and
whoever this new guy is.
Oh, he's got look, rest assured, the damage is already done, and they cannot do anymore. The damage is already done, and they cannot do anymore. The damage is already done. It is time to seek unity with the One. For anyone who is not doing that must go.
Did you hear that? It is time to seek unity with the One. Anyone not doing that must go.
Anyone who is not doing that must go.
And the shade that I've gotten thrown at me lately, it's sad, dude. I wish the DM would step up and appreciate the work that I did for him so that others will do the same. We need this love.
There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. This has been known for a while now. There is nothing to fear. Open your heart and your mind and your knowing. It is already there. You knew this was coming before you got here.
Mm-hmm.
All of your lives are combining into one at this very moment.
Told you.
All of your lives are combining into one in this very moment. It is a reset of time. You can no longer ever go back again. It is a reset of time and a reset of newness and being reborn into the future.
I told you. This is exactly what I said, and I channeled this, so I had to process it myself. And after this is when eventually I talked more about that, because I was still processing it. Sekhmet the Nile hadn't even happened. Like this, it unfolded in real time through my own awakening. Okay, and that's what you're watching. So I told you what I caused is the end of time. Everything has been rewound. Nothing you once knew will ever exist anymore. You either rise to the One or you go. Okay. And when you get into the new earth, during the path of righteousness, I take you guys through. You get all your karma has to be cleared. Once it is, you get your new contract and a pen. If your karma is not cleared, you don't stay here, and you don't get to return for some time. Okay, if at all. So who I am is very real. It's all right here. And me watching this again, it just helps me remember who I am and not let anybody take that away from me. I do deserve to be the one. I am the one, whether you want me to be or not.
It is what you call judgment today, meaning those who do not seek the light are done. Those who do not seek the light are dumb. The masculine now is speaking his tune, and she will light the flame.
I was channeling some being.
Saint Germain is stepping in with the Akashic records.
So I told you everything I do is recorded in the Akasha records. Everything. So if you can't see it, then either your shadow is too conflicting, or you're working with somebody if they can't see it and they work in the Akashic records. I'd be wondering why. You should be able to access this if you can open up your energy and know how to do so. It is all in the Akasha records. I changed time. I brought in the 7th wave of creation, and you rise to God or you go. I've been saying this the whole time, and people throw shade my way. And if I'm the one who brought it about, what do you think you're doing? Let's get real.
Solidify the bubble of protection and light from God. This is a bubble and protection of light directly from God. It's very, very, very powerful. The only way anything can get through is if you let it.
Yeah.
Remember this. This protection is solidified, and it will last beyond the month of this excursion. It will last beyond the month of this excursion. It will be necessary. Our time is not your time. Remember this.
Yep. Yes. So when I say 2 years, that's not your time. Spirit called it 2 cycles. It could be less than 2 years, your time. Okay. That's what I'm telling you, is you don't know time. Everybody's complacent. Everybody thinks it's a joke, but all the proof is right here in front of you. You have to watch. You're letting your shadow stop you otherwise. If you found these videos, it's so important. There's a reason. God's like, hey, dude, you need to see this. And if you let your shadow stop you, it's the soul battle. You're not winning.
I anchor this in the highest love and light possible, and the gifts of the love of the one. So be it, and so it now is. Geez, this is very, very, very big. You want to talk about the return of Christ? It's going to be felt now.
That's what I mean.
So all you guys have to do is just listen to my voice.
So I was doing a lot of work before this, and it was taking time to circle back in the collective soul. Once we got to this point where my DM died and the dome was completed of protective light, then I undid the Holy Grail. It was done. Okay. Then the rest occurred. And then it also takes me to preparation for the event, where I prophecy fulfilled Revelations 21:13 was also done. So this one's 21:12, and then 21:13 came shortly after. So we'll just listen to this a little bit more. You can actually watch these. I encourage you to watch them more than once. Something always comes through more, and we'll see who even watches these. I'm going to tell you right now, dudes, if you don't rise to the one, you're done. And who am I? The proof is right here for you.
Keep your eyes closed and just breathe. Breathe into your body. We're drawing down. Nope, we're not. God is putting his hand over us. Literally just putting his hand over us, and he's flooding light into our vessels.
So the ones I'm talking to are in my workshop. There's actually other people in here with me. That's why this is all blocked out.
So this is Christ light activated. This is not just coming down from the heavens through the layers. This is God's hand on this action. It's required. It's opening up your energetic system.
There's something in Ecuador. I feel like there's something in Ecuador we need to see. So, you can either take the important time and get to know God, or free will.
Boom. Going up into your navel. Activations to understand in your heart what I am saying.
See, people need to reactivate to God's light. That's not a joke. So if you're still doing healings and you haven't had all these activations, you are not healing in God's light. That's why they actually had me do the academy as well. You guys, because I changed it for the earth. Okay. So you don't have to do the work that I did. That is a blessing. that's only for those pure of heart who even have the opportunity to do so. So it's free will. But here's the thing I ask you. Other people's work matters. Why doesn't mine when I have the proof? Eat that apple. Eve pun.
Into your third eye. This is where they will rebuild your third eye, crown, and causal to 7D, to match the blueprint of the earth now. I can feel a tingling on my forehead. I feel pressure in the back of my head. I feel some pains. Whatever you feel, just breathe. You are protected, you are safe, and you are guided divinely. Amy, you're being called in. They gave you a sword. I just got my sword. We're going to stab it into the earth around Ecuador in a moment's time. So is my DM and the energy of the masculine. I'm gonna call my power now.
This is language of the gods. So people always ask me, what is light language and what is everything else? Anything outside of light language is not language of the gods. It's not God's language, especially now. But what I speak is direct God language. Okay, so it's not necessarily, it's light language to the highest degree. So it might be a little different. It's literally just speaking through God. Okay.
What's to do?
You guys need to realize I use my energy to do these. I use my light, I use my energies because of who I am. These are not normal. I change the earth.
We're gonna get ready to go to Ecuador. And we are going there now. So you are ready. I am energetically grabbing our spiritual self, our soul, your soul, and we leave behind the physical vessel. It's a little bit difficult. Hang on. So Lisa's getting extra activations. Connected energetic beings are just fine. There's a little hesitation, and that's okay. A little of third dimension being removed. So we're almost walking inside the earth along the equator line. This is how we're doing it. It's glowing from the core out. So it's like lit up white. That's all I see is this white line along the equator line. And we are going to Ecuador. It's far away from here. We are going to Ecuador.
I didn't know anything about Ecuador. I didn't know there's a pyramid there. They tell me to go there, so that's what I do. And then when you put this all together, the equator line, and then when I did Revelations 21:13, I took the north, the east, the south, and the west, shifted your equilibrium and filled it with Christ's light, and I completed the journey back from the west to the north. So who I am is not normal, my friends. Your earth has been changed.
Okay, so we are in Ecuador. I'm looking for the pyramid. It is buried. It is absolutely hidden from the naked eye. You can't even see it from satellites. I am clearing the debris with my sword. Just clearing debris, clearing debris. My DM is now sitting in front of it. And so are all of you. You are sitting in front of it, and I am clearing it. I am clearing it. I am awakening it. I am touching my hands. I'm placing my hands on the pyramidal wall. That's
how I activate them.
I will do something. Then we will put our swords into the ground. And then the DM will activate it.
It's a masculine pyramid. Ecuador is a masculine pyramid.
Oh boy.
That's why he was
I
supposed to
see
be
the
with
earth
me.
cracking. I'm drawing in the light as I've done every other pyramid. I will awaken it and he will fill it with blue light. I will awaken it and he will fill it with blue light. It's rumbling, it's trembling, it's shaking. I'm calling on the sun at this time. We are drawing sunlight and Christ light into this pyramid from the top and from the bottom. I'm also carving writing. I'm telling the story of what has occurred. I am putting it in the walls. Oh boy.
Did you hear that? So I do that. Some of the pyramids don't have that. It's all outdated. And so everything is in the Akashic records, and everything will now be depicted on the sides of the pyramidal wall. So when you don't understand how pyramids were made, it's because gods did it. The real ones. The real ones. The fake ones may have been partially man-made, but these were men not of your time. Okay. So we have power. We're all creatures of power. It just depends on where you became corrupt and sold your soul. Seriously.
It's like the pyramid is getting all the information of what happened as I am waking it up. It's letting it know the power it needs to release and then when.
Did you hear that? So this is what I'm getting right now, is that they do relate to volcanoes as well. So it's letting it know the power it needs to release and when. So there's a volcano in Ecuador as well. So it's in a state of emergency, riots. I don't know why the volcano, is it erupting? Let's look. When did this one happen? Oh, that's not, so it hasn't yet. So that doesn't mean it's not going to, because that's what I do. Kilimanjaro, I activated it 3 times. I shoved light through it 3 times. It will ignite 3 times at some point. So be very mindful.
And then my DM will give it the power. So
I tell you, you think it's still going to be a president or Elon Musk taking over this earth because he thinks he will. No, it's masculine and feminine earth. It's God's earth again. And you either, what did I say in here? You either work on healing your relationship with God or you don't stay.
It's lifting off the ground. It's like trembling. It's moving. It's lighting up. It's shaking. It's like being awakened. And Ecuador can feel it.
So this is very relevant, and it's making sense to me too. According to this, I'm Sekhmet. I bring damage for repair. I cause destruction for repair. When I bring Christ's light into the earth, the darkness can no longer anchor in. It surfaces so that all can be seen, and that it removes it from the collective consciousness. Okay, that's how it's working, and that's what I say I'm going to do. Even in my very first workshop, which I had no idea what I was doing yet. My first workshop was spell casting. It was nothing like this. I wasn't even speaking light language yet. That came through activations and calling my power back through the snakes and stuff. So this is all very relevant. Okay, it's very relevant, you guys.
Yeah. I saw someone. It looked like almost like a Kim Jong-un type of person. Okay. And then all of a sudden his like black suit was ripped off and he was naked, and I hate to say, then his skin ripped off. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. Exposure.
Okay, so I have him carved like all the writing along the wall of what has happened. Okay. Now when my DM fills it with light, we have a limited time that it will fill your vessels so that you all can have the healing and activations that go with this healing. Okay. It also protects you and puts you ahead of humankind. It just does. It totally anchors you into 7D more than you know. And that with the gods. So please be very careful of any negative inwards or outwards. Okay. Because you will flow with very powerful energy for this month. Be very, very mindful of your thoughts, your words, and your actions, and manifest if you choose, because the power is palpable. My DM is doing something. So the way I see it is I've got a sword on one side, Amy has a sword on the other.
So I'm going to tell you, if you haven't healed your karma, your manifesting is pretty much being blocked. It's different because they changed the earth. The earth is not the same. Okay, so you have to, if you're not actively seeking God, you won't stay here.
Her masculine has the sword, and now my DM. So with my sword, he doesn't have a sword, right? There's 3 sides to a pyramid. That makes sense. He is going to be filling the pyramid with light. Then once that happens, you guys receive the light. Feet, and he will fill it through his butt. Down, and all of you are receiving this light at this time in my DM. Into 1 for you, you're healing, you're eliminating.
All right, so you can finish watching that. I encourage you guys to watch it more than once, honestly. Let's see what's going on in Ecuador, shall we? Let's watch. I said the earth feels it shifting everything as they do it. Darkness will rise more and more and then fall. It's being unsurfaced, like it's being drawn to the surface. That's what's happening. So as people are being called awakened, the darkness is also rising. It cannot be buried anymore. Things have to be seen now. Oh, don't freeze on me now. Work. Because I say so. Just freezing for a second. It does this every now and then, and I don't know why. Okay. Oh, we got ads trying to pop up.
Bounty versus the family did.
And my computer's like, what the fuck, Chuck? Darn ads, huh? Okay, finish ad. Thank you.
Vision station during a live broadcast taking hostages. Ecuador is in a state of emergency, a declaration made after a notorious gang leader escaped prison. CNN's Patrick Ottman is following this from Havana, Cuba. Patrick, the TV station incident is just one of many troubling events.
Yes, there is a wave of violence that has been committed by these gangs, these armed violent gangs that are linked to drug cartels. They have attacked the universities, attacked police, attacked prison guards, and you have this absolutely stunning video that you just showed of these armed gunmen coming into a TV station in Guayaquil, Ecuador, while it was live on the air, threatening employees, pushing them to the ground, pointing guns at them. It appears the police have retaken control of this TV station. They are showing pictures of some of these alleged gunmen on the floor with their hands tied behind their backs. They're saying that they were able to go in and arrest them and rescue the employees of this TV station. But this is only one incident that apparently has been kicked off when one of the most notorious gang leaders in this country just walked out of prison just before he was supposed to be transferred to a maximum security prison. A man known as Fito, a notorious gang leader, escaped, and still not clear how he did that. The president of Ecuador, Daniel Noboa, today declaring several of these gangs to be terrorist groups, and he's ordering the military to take to the streets to fight them. But these gangs, they are not giving up without a fight, and they saying that they will resist and fight back, and that is what they have been doing, and they say they will continue to do as the Ecuadorian government tries to bring the gangs under control.
So, tries to bring the gangs under control. What I've been telling you guys is that as these energetic waves come in, okay, through all the work that I did because I changed the earth, understand? As they all come in, darkness will also rise. So it's like waves, right? We get the earthquakes, we get tornadoes, all these things have its energetic waves. So you guys think these portals are just yay? If you're not actively seeking God, you don't survive. Okay. After I did Ecuador came the Nile. Okay. The importance in the Nile comes around this time right here.
My hands, and I'm walking to a different area with them, but I'm
So let me just explain really quick. They're going to tell you right now who I am. So I did Ecuador. They told me I was Sekhmet. I was like, what? It took me a long time to process all that happened in Ecuador that you just saw. And I tell you guys, hey, I totally undid time. You don't understand. If you're not seeking God, you don't stay, like all these things. But you guys can choose not to hear. Only those who will hear it, only those that choose to rise, only those that choose love repeatedly, that choose God will stay. Okay. So in the first part of this, we were just getting gifts. Understand that I do these workshops when I'm doing healings. So I just think we're going to do gifts. They don't tell me everything until we're there. Okay. I didn't know we were doing the Nile. So the first half, the angels were giving us gifts. Then all of a sudden they separated me from the group. And that's what's happening now.
where my DM is, and then you guys are sitting a little bit lower and next to me. That's how I'm seeing it energetically. Wait, it could go, Julia. And God's like sprinkling it with light and love everywhere. It's just light and love everywhere. And now they're taking my hand. You guys are staying, my DM is staying, but they're taking my hand. And I'm walking to a different area with them, but I'm not leaving. I'm in the same space.
Channeling it. I don't know what's coming.
And there's all of a sudden like this pond, like this water, like a well type of thing, but like a big pool type of thing. And there's a couple steps down into it, but it's not deep. So I'm like holding my dress up, and they want me to stand in the middle of it. I don't know why.
See, they put me in water.
And they're calling me the Queen of the Nile. Oh, that's when it starts coming in. Queen of life, of existence, and removing all resistance. I'm just watching this now. I'm like, oh my.
Queen of the Nile, the Queen of life, the Queen of existence. An elimination of all resistance. Pyramids in Ecuador. All these pyramid activations are more important than you know. And when you mock them, when you refuse to watch them, when you throw shade my way, it hurts you. Okay, I say this repeatedly. It hurts me too. but it really, really hurts you. Okay. The significance of what's happening in Ecuador to the work that I have done, there are no coincidences. Where I have activated pyramids, you better believe volcanoes may also exist. Okay. Because I'm putting that together. It's like I shove energy through them and then we get releasing. Now, Mount Shasta, however, I don't know if that volcano will erupt. I do know we cut it off from life support. I do know that after the work I did, the tunnels crumble underneath. I cracked it all the way down the mountainside. It cracks all the way down the fault line. All of California falls in the water and the water rises up in San Francisco. And that one you can watch in Mount Shasta Part 1 and Part 2. So much love to all of you. I pray that those who need to see this will see this. All can see who I am now. The time has come.